Good morning. How's everyone doing? I'm super excited to be here with you all today on this winter solstice, the day in the year when we have equal night and day, equal darkness and light. So we're going to capitalize on that because we have darkness and light in us. And we are designed to create more light and to push out the darkness, because the darkness is of this world and can be easy to let the darkness take you down. And we're going to do something about that today. So we are going to dig into creating confidence, courage, and clarity to call in clients in your business and love in your relationship, and really not sure if that recorded, and really make sure that you are showing up as the feminine spiritual leader that God designed you to be. Because in times of darkness, that's the times when we are called to be bold, to be courageous, and to fight out the darkness, to fight out the negativity, to fight out the sense of hopelessness, and come back to the truth. And so what I'm going to be sharing with you today are 5 steps you can take to cultivate that courage and that confidence what's going on in life. And I'm also going to share 3 spiritual disciplines that you can practice every single day to stay true to your divine path, no matter what your circumstances look like, no matter what's going on around you. So ask questions as we go. And of course, comment as we go. So, this is for you when you've been on this path of personal and professional growth and development and have noticed, your tendency to get caught up in the chase and in the seeking, and really, thinking that there's a solution, there's a strategy, there's a method, there's something out there that is going to be it, that's going to be the fix. And this cycle keeps you in a place of searching and keeps you in a place of thinking you need fixing, and creates that frustration when you've done so many different things and have noticed they haven't worked as well as you had hoped, and you haven't progressed as much as you had liked. And so it creates a little bit of fear, a little bit of doubt of what is it that's going to work. And so you're hesitant to, try something different, and you want to get out of this seeking. And at the same time, you want the thing that's really going to shift your stuckness, that's really going to move you forward in your business, in your career, in your relationship. So that's what I'm here to share with you. I'm going to fix my wings real quick. Is when you're in that place of just feeling like a bit of hopelessness, of you've done some different things, change, and noticed that despite all your best intentions, despite taking all the actions, despite implementing, that all the things that you thought would work, the strategies, the networking, and the different methods, that they haven't worked. And so, of course, you're in a place of not trusting yourself to know what it is that is going to work. And that's the part that we're going to work on, because cultivating courage and confidence and clarity starts with rebuilding that trust in yourself. And part of that is honoring all the things that you've done and knowing they were just part of your growth and your development, that you needed to do some things that didn't work to get you on this path where you're really ready to and open to see what is it that is going to work for you, because it has to be specific to you, unique to you, and designed for you, from your God-given purpose, and putting you on your divine path, not someone else's strategy and someone else's path and someone else's method. It has to be yours. Okay, so I think my bangs are going the wrong way. Why all the other things haven't worked? Because, if you have, good morning. Oh, shoot. Can you hear me now? Let me just see if my. Okay, give me some love. Let me know if it's working. I don't know what's going on with my hair. Okay, so I'm going to keep going if and wait and see if I hear from you. Okay, so we'll see if it shows up again. I don't know. Okay, so back to why all the things that you've done haven't worked, because it's good to have an understanding of what's working and what's not working and why it didn't work so you don't continue to repeat the pattern. So, why the different strategies haven't worked, and this has been true for me, so I can speak from experience, is because partly, we'll start with go through this in steps and stages. So, part of the reason it doesn't work is the initial foundation from which you're seeking support is from a foundation of thinking that it's something outside of you, that someone else has this perfect formula, this perfect strategy, and because they had success, that you can have that same success. And what happens here and why this doesn't work is because, okay, I am stalled. Maybe I should talk over. Okay, it says I'm live. I have internet. So I'm going to keep going. Keep me posted, or I can start over. Let me know. I'll keep going and we'll see what happens. Okay, so when you have been working with other people's programs, other people's strategies, they are designed for that person. I even had a coach who even had like part of her agreements and then even part of her trainings, she would put, you have to do it exactly like this. If you do it exactly like this, you will be successful. Well, no one can do it exactly like she does it because no one is her. And it worked for her because of how she is designed and how she's wired and how she shows up. And if it's not differentiated, if it's not change to address how you are different and how you show up and how you are uniquely wired, then it's not going to work for you. You can't ever do it exactly like her, nor can you have the exact success that she has because you're not her. And so a lot of these programs that I've been in that haven't worked is because of that, is because they weren't personally tailored to me and guiding me to create my personal system and practice and strategy and method for my success, and really getting clear on what that looks like for me, because my success might be quite different from their success. I might think my success needs to look like their success, but with the right coach and the right guidance, I can be guided to see what is actually true for me instead of chasing someone else's form of success. Okay, let me know if you're still able to hear me. So that's why a lot of these strategies don't work. There is no individuation. There's no personalization because, of course, it's easier for a coach just to put everyone through the same process and it's less work for them. It's much more work to individualize and personalize. And not just that, to go really deep and to know that you might really, okay, you can hear me. Perfect. And then I can't see your name. So if you can let StreamYard know your name, that would be super helpful. So I can talk to you. Okay, so again, it is much deeper. And of course, that takes more work for the coach to be willing to go deeper, to take you deeper, so that you're able to really uncover what it is that's holding you back, why you haven't had success, and what it's going to take for you to have success and what that even looks like, and what is underneath that desire, and how you are uniquely wired to create that, because that's what's going to be sustainable when it's from you, for you, as you are uniquely wired and designed, and as you are meant to serve and who you're meant to serve. Do you have any questions about that? And part of this too, like I mentioned, is, part of it is the foundation is coming from seeking something outside of you and thinking you're broken. And another part of it is when you're coming from that old self and trying to fix the old self from the old self, you're going to keep perpetuating the old self's methods of survival, which is a lot of times to stay stuck, to stay in anxiety, to stay in stress, because that's what the old self thinks success is. And so in order to really change this, and we're going to get into this in this training, is having to create a new self, a new identity. And from that new identity, then to be able, oh, I wonder why it says I'm live. I don't understand. Yay, hi Diana. I'm not really sure why it says I'm live. Okay, well, let me know how this goes. Let me know what questions you have, Diana, as we go. Okay, so how this training is going to go is we're going to talk about what it takes to really cultivate that confidence and courage to become a leader in your family and in your business, in your life. And from that place of that new identity of being the leader you're meant to be, from your God-given gifts, really serving in a way that only you can, and being successful in a way that only you can. So if you are ready, I'm going to go through 5 steps you can take to really cultivate that courage, that confidence, and that clarity, so that you can really start to see those lasting changes, not those quick fixes and then crash and burn. We want sustainable change, because this is becoming the person you're meant to be. And the person you're meant to be is a person who is thriving, who is prospering, and who is serving with love. Okay. So the first part, the first step in this, really changing how you see yourself, is to really explore how you are being, because it's super easy to change what you're doing. It's super easy just to run and go implement a new formula, a new strategy, a new method. It's much more difficult to change how you are being. And so how we're going to explore this and how I'm going to guide you to really deepen into this is to ask yourself every single day, what brings you joy? Because joy, of course, is one of the most elevated emotions, the most elevated emotional and energetic and thought and consciousness spaces. So we want to be able to cultivate those experiences and that sensation in our body every single day, because that's our true state. Of course, society doesn't want us to be in that state a lot. And there's a lot of things in our life that we choose to give energy to instead of to what brings us joy. So ask yourself every single day, what brings you joy? And then right now, as you're sitting here, ask yourself, how often do you do those things that bring you joy? Because what we want to really step into here is to begin to shift the energy with which you are creating and connecting with others. So when you're creating content, when you are, sharing videos, when you're sharing posts, when you're writing to your clients, when you're connecting with people, when you're having conversations, what is the energy with which you're doing that? Because that is more important than the actual doing. So we want to make sure that we are really connecting with who we are being, and that determines what we do, instead of depending on what we do to determine how we be, right? So a lot of times in society, we think, oh, I need to do something in order to have this experience. I need to earn more money in order to have freedom. I need to have a relationship in order to feel loved. But we want to reverse it and say, I choose to feel joy, and I choose to feel loved, and I choose to feel free. no matter what's going on around me, because that's who I am. So coming back to creating this identity of a being who is inherently joyful, who is inherently loved, who is inherently free, and then taking actions from that and knowing what are the actions that really fire up those feelings. So what are the things that make you feel more free? It could be something as simple as going for a walk in the park. What are the things that make you feel more joyful? It could be dancing. It could be, connecting with a friend or a pet. It could be, you know, preparing a nice meal for yourself might bring you joy. So really be creative here. And of course, think about things that you can do daily. It's not like, oh, well, going on vacation brings me joy. Well, how can you bring that feeling of being on vacation and that feeling of joy that vacation gives you to your present moment? Because we don't want to put anything out, depend on anything outside of us to give us what we inherently are. So that's the first step. Second step then is to explore your resistance to joy. So what are the fears that come up? Could be, oh, I don't have time to find something that brings me joy, or I'm not really deserving to feel joyful. So bring all the fears up, let them come up, all the resistance to joy, that you don't have time, that you're not worthy, that there's nothing that brings you joy, whatever it is, bring all of those up, because we want to bring everything into the light, because anything that we keep hidden, we give more power and energy to. So bring it all up, let it all out, let it just have space. Because when we acknowledge it, sometimes we think if we acknowledge it, it gets more powerful. Oh, I don't want to say that because I'm going to bring it into being. But actually, it disperses the energy, because now it's in the light. And now you see, and you can just decide how much energy and how much truth it actually has. So this is the part where you really want to root out those old beliefs and really discover the origin. Like, what is the origin of thinking you're not deserving of joy? What is the origin of thinking you don't have time to engage in activities that bring you joy? And go deep here. And this, of course, is what I do with my clients, to go really much on a much deeper level, because this can be a little bit challenging on our own to go as deep. We don't always have the capacity and the ability to go as deep on our own, because we're, in survival mode. And so if we think it's going to hurt us in some way, even if it's not a physical harm, we'll resist going deeper. And so that's why it's really helpful to have someone to guide you in this process. And what I do with my clients as we go deeper into this is we start to explore the origin of the fear, and really the belief attached to that fear, and then attach it to, how did it serve you? How was this part of your survival mechanism as a kid? And then connect it to how did it then lead to the development of your gifts and your unique personality. So you start to detach the negative connotation with that and see how actually, because everything is for you. And the way we change this and reframe this is getting rid of all the negativity we have attached to it, and which has kept it buried for years, which has kept it in charge of your life for years. And as you bring it to the light and then really dispel its power and change its meaning, then you start to see how it's for you. And then it becomes something that you can use that is no longer working against you, but is working in your favor. Okay, then the third part is to connect to the truth, to dispel the lies. And then we really want to own and embody this. So this is how we really start to step into a new way of being. This is how you start to see yourself from heart vision, from a higher perspective. Because when you connect to the truth, then the lies that you believed about yourself and your ability to progress, your ability to succeed, your ability to be loved, your ability to attract clients, your ability to make money, all of those lies no longer have any power when you connect to the truth. And the truth is, what does God say about you? And if you go to God's word, God says you are here to be prosperous. You are here to be fruitful. You are here to increase. You are here to multiply, that you are deeply loved, that you are chosen, that you are significant, that you are designed to do good work. So you want to just like wash yourself with his word and the truth and swim in it and own it and embody it and know you can believe it because it's true. So this isn't how New Age works. New Age is you have to convince yourself it's true, and then you'll start to believe it, and then you'll start to be it. This is true, so you can believe it. And so that changes who you are because it's the truth of who you are. So it's not a convincing yourself to believe something, it's knowing God's word is true and what he says about you is true. And there's no need to have to convince yourself of it. This is why New Age doesn't work. It's counterfeit truth. It's not truth. It's trying to think that you are a God when you're not, instead of knowing who God says you are and trusting that and acting from that. So then the fourth step, once you know who you are, is to take aligned action with faith based on this truth of who you are, based on this new being and this new seeing yourself from heart vision, and really from that space connecting to spirit and allowing spirit to guide your actions instead of forcing, improving, and having to feel and feeling like you have to do everything and you can't ever stop. And instead of that frantic and frenetic and hustle mentality, you're coming from guided inspiration, guided intuition, guided from and by spirit of what your next steps are. And being open, being still so you can receive that guidance, respond to that guidance, and take action in obedience. So it's not being so busy in your mind and being so busy in your life that you miss and are disconnected from guidance. And then you're going to be back into having to work, and go. Instead, it's taking action, but taking action from guidance. So that's not crazy action. It's not hustle action. It's still enough to live, being really connected from the heart so you can hear spirit's guidance and then act on that guidance with faith, without having to see how it's going to work out, without having it to make sense, but really trusting whatever that next action is, and you're going to take it. Again, this is really difficult because we want to see how it's going to work and what's going to be the result and how does this connect to what I want. Instead, it's really stepping out with faith and trust and surrender, which is so, so important. Okay, and then the next step, the fifth step is you're going to commit to daily spiritual disciplines. Then I'll share those 3 daily spiritual disciplines with you. So as you are stepping into being the leader in your life and in your family, really cultivating that courage and confidence and clarity. So you're calling in clients and you're calling in love in your relationship and really becoming the leader you're meant to be. There are disciplines that you can practice every single day to make sure you stay connected to that divine path. You stay connected to that truth. You are capturing the lies and casting them out, and you are really walking forward with boldness and with confidence and with clarity in your message. So the first of spiritual discipline is a daily commitment to gratitude, to really help cultivate those feelings of joy and love that I talked about in that first step. And this looks like, how I do this is first thing in the morning before I even get out of bed, I engage in prayer and give thanks. And then after I get out of bed, as I go downstairs and, sort of feed my dog and do some daily, duties, then I write down for about 8 minutes, 10 things that I am grateful that. So I'm grateful that I have warm clothes to go walk out in the freezing cold. So these are anything, it could be good things, could be bad things. We want to dispel the negativity and with this gratitude practice as well. So we want to be grateful that things haven't worked out so far because it's helped you develop a deeper dependence on God. It's helped you connect more deeply with your purpose. So you want to really engage in this, not looking for things to be grateful for, but just grateful for everything as it is, because that's being grateful for your life, really. Second discipline is every single day commit to noticing when the fear comes up, capturing it, and then forgiving yourself for entertaining that idea, for coming into agreement with that idea that you need to be in a place of fear, and then releasing it. So every single day committing to a daily forgiveness, moment by moment, sometimes practice as fears come up so you can release them so they don't have power over you. And then the third spiritual discipline is coming into a place of acceptance, because acceptance is allowing yourself to receive, because what we resist persists. So when you're resisting, like, oh, you want to be different and you want to be somewhere where you're not, you're resisting what's you currently are experiencing, which is going to persist. That experience is going to perpetuate that experience, is going to create that experience, not to change, but to persist. And so come to a place of acceptance of where you are, knowing you are constantly evolving and knowing God is doing his good work in you. And as you come into that acceptance, that's when you're opening yourself to receive God's guidance, the information and revelation from Spirit on those next steps, and his provision and his love and every good thing that he has for you. So what this looks like in practice, I can share some stories from my clients. Many of my clients have come to me in this place of struggle, of having worked different strategies, worked with different coaches, worked different methods, and have come to a place of being stuck sometimes for many, many, many months. And they're, of course, frustrated that things haven't shifted despite having invested, despite having enrolled in, programs that promised, to deliver results, and then noticing they didn't get those results. And they had the courage to, invest again with someone that was me, who was going to help them do it differently. And one of my clients, she came to me just really in a hard place, really struggling. We had one session get really deep on what her gifts are and how those gifts equipped her very specifically to guide her clients. And she became really clear on how her gifts allowed her to guide her clients in a way that no one else could. As she started to see herself differently, she turned around and within 48 hours had enrolled a previous client for a higher ticket investment. Another client had a similar story. She hadn't had clients for close to a year and just been frustrated and kind of burned out. We really dug in a little more deeply to connecting her gifts to the tangible and the intangible outcomes of what she could help her clients achieve. She did a video and had 3 people reach out to her, a woman get on the call with her. So within 72 hours of our first call, she had someone sign up to work with her when she hadn't had someone sign up in close to a year. So this is powerful. Other clients of mine have had people reach out, quote unquote, out of the blue, but it's not out of the blue. They have done the internal work. So they're showing up differently, even when they're not promoting. 2 of my clients, they weren't even promoting their services and people reached out asking to work with them. Like, that's how powerful this work is. And that's what we're here to do, is to be that force, to be that force of nature that's really, advocating change, advocating, leadership in our lives and in our families and in our businesses. So if you are interested in really going deeper and stopping this up and down, or if you haven't had any ups, just stopping being in a place of being stuck and tired of wrestling and second guessing and being in a place of doubt, you can work with me. I have a 4-month program, a 4-month mentorship, and a 2-month mentorship. So depending on where you are in your journey, it could be a 4-month program because we want to go deeper. We want to, have you develop much more growth and you have a lot more expansion that they're searching for. Or you can start with a 2-month program if you are on a pretty good trajectory and you want to really boost it in a much better way. And you could start with a 2-month and go into the 4-month. And really what we will do and how I will guide you is to really clarify, who you are, what's the truth about you, and really change how you see yourself. And so that you are changing how you show up, so that you are changing how you are seen by your soulmate clients. And then the second part is I'm really getting clear on who are those clients that you and only you are meant to serve. And how are you meant to serve them? What is your unique method of transformation that no one else can do? And how that connects to your spiritual gifts and that core defining moment that in your mind might have been negative, that has really equipped you with the skills that you need and the gifts that you need to facilitate a transformation that only you can. And how this works is then we completely, change how you show up. We really, there's more boldness in what you're sharing. You're not holding back. You're not afraid. You're speaking up. You're standing out. And of course, you are calling in the clients that you are meant to serve, that are designed for you. So you have that courage to really, be the leader you're meant to be. And you're doing all of this without stress, without the hustle, without the anxiety and the comparison and the pressure, but really from a place of trust and faith and love and in serving with joy and having fun in the creative process. So the 4-month package, the 4-month mentorship is an $8K investment, and the 2-month package is a $5K investment. Really what we'll be doing is awakening that fire within you, that desire, that your true purpose is wanting to come through and be expressed in a much more bold way. Then really discovering your unique spiritual gifts, your divine path, and ensuring you're connecting to that and feel confident and clear on what that is. Then reclaiming your voice so that you are really speaking from a place of power to call in all that you desire and being that change that you are here to be and the leader you're here to be for your clients and your family. And then really igniting the truth of who you are and who you're meant to serve and how you're meant to serve them. And really the contribution that you are here and only you are here to make. So you're really stepping into your God-given purpose, your leadership as a feminine spiritual force of nature. So if you have questions, what that looks like, you can email me and you can, or just send me a message. That would be easier. And how this works is we work together weekly and we're in contact. Apart from our weekly sessions, we're in contact throughout the week. So you are integrating this and embodying this. You are getting support on implementation. You're getting support and feedback on what you're putting out there, and have someone to reach out to through instant messenger and email when things come up. So you're not going a whole week without contact. We're in contact throughout the week in addition to our weekly sessions. So it's really embodying and integrating who you're meant to be and really, fueling yourself to sustain the change that you desire. Because it's not a quick, it's a long term. This is, a marathon that you're running, that you want to feel happy and successful and energetic while you're doing, instead of just wanting it to be over. You're really enjoying the process of your evolution. And in so doing, of course, that's when you're attracting clients so that, like I said, you could be enrolling clients within our first week of working together. So you already have made your investment back. But it's not even about that. It's about who you are being. That's really why this is such an invaluable investment to make, because it's in who you are being in every area of your life, not just in client attraction. It's in your relationship, creating more intimacy, creating more passion for your work and for your family, for your spouse, for your children. and really showing up into as the person that God designed you to be, who is, again, like in that place of emanating joy and love and peace and trust and faith and just being lit up and on fire. I mean, that's the power of this work. Okay, so if you have questions, let me know. I'll come back and check later. And send me a message and let's explore working together in my mentorship. I would love to support your growth and your evolution and seeing you really step up, stand out, and speak up as the leader you're to be. All right, friends, talk to you soon. Bye.